Demarcation. Demarcation is the process where the legally described boundary of a piece of land is physically marked out on the ground. Therefore, a village that requires their land to be demarcated should take note of these steps. Step 1. After receiving the absolute grant from the President, the community may request to have their lands demarcated. Step 2. The village council is required to write the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs and request that the land described in the absolute grant be demarcated. Step 3. The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs will then write to the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission informing of the request and allocation of funds for the surveying. The Ministry will also request that the process commences. Step 4. The Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission or a contracted surveyor is selected following due process. Step 5. The Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs is then informed that the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission or the contractor is ready to commence the survey. Step 6. The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs will inform the village about the selected surveyors and introduce them to the village. Step 7. Consultations between the village, the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission or the contractor are held. Step 8. The cadastral survey, which is a form of demarcation, is then carried out in accordance with the State Lands Act, the Land Surveyors Act, the Land Registry Act, and other relevant acts. Important facts you should know about demarcation. It is a legal requirement before a certificate of title can be prepared and issued. It allows the title holder to physically know the location of the property boundaries. It prevents others from encroaching on the land. It tells you how much land you have and what are the measurements related to the boundaries. Demarcation allows you to satisfy the requirements to apply for extension. Only a qualified land surveyor, called a sworn land surveyor, can carry out a demarcation exercise in Guyana. A cadastral survey is a form of demarcation. It is a survey used to assist in the compilation of a register of land showing the owners of those lands. This register is called a cadastre. Besides demarcating the land, a cadastral survey provides a unique identity for the land and provides other necessary information pertaining to the land. A cadastre is useful for environmental management and sustainable development since it shows details such as ownership, description, boundaries, and many other information on all lands in an area. For more information, visit www.indigenouspeoples.gov.gy or www.gy.undp.org. Call or text 600-3180 or 225-8412. Email altprojectgy@gmail.com. This is a Government of Guyana project implemented by the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs with support from the United Nations Development Programme and is funded by the Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund. The Amerindian Land Titling Project, promoting land tenure security for sustainable human development.